A pivotal year approaches for Sam Pittman in Fayetteville. What is the most important game of the 2024 season for the Arkansas Razorbacks? Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. We're brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Guys, go to RHOBACK.com. Use promo code SECU to get 20% off your first purchase. Again, that's RHOBACK.com. Promo code SECU to get 20% off today. A pivotal year awaits for Sam Pittman of the Arkansas Razorbacks, and guys, on a schedule where admittedly it's hard to find wins for the Hawgs. What is the most important game of the 2024 season for Arkansas? And guys, when I say most important game, I'm talking the game on this schedule that feels as must win as any. The game that's really going to go a long way in swaying the season one way or another. And as we take a look at Arkansas's schedule, I think there's a number of different directions you can go, and certainly there are a number of games, guys, that I went back and forth on. I mean, week 2 at Oklahoma State, I think, could be a tone setter for the season, right? You think about what Okie State was last year, guys. As good as they were, guys, this was a team that lost to South Alabama. They're as inconsistent as any, and they can be beat. You look at some of these home matchups, guys. You get Tennessee. You get Ole Miss. You get Texas. You've got some big-time home games, right? Texas A&M, of course, in that game in the state of Texas, in Dallas, right? You've got some big-time home matchups there that maybe you can take advantage of, and you could set the tone and get people fired up about your season, right? So there's a number. How about at Mizzou, the final game of the season, which is a rivalry game that for whatever reason Arkansas cannot seem to win? I think there's a number of ways you can go. And guys, in what's a pivotal season for the future of Sam Pittman in Fayetteville, one that obviously he needs to rack up some wins and really, I think, buy back the goodwill of this fan base. There are a lot of games on this schedule that you look at and you can say, man, that one's really important to his tenure. That one's really important to his future. I mean, again, guys, as bad as they were at home, you want to know a great recipe for getting fired? Not just losing, but getting blown out on your home field. That does not sit well. And again, you got great opportunities. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas. There's a number of games here that I think if you can steal one or two will go a long way in his future. But guys, the game that I look at, and I want to be clear, I almost said Texas A&M. That was one that I felt like, man, that showdown there in the state of Texas at AT&T Stadium, that showdown, that's one that I really felt like, man, to snap that streak and to finally get off the schneid in that game. And I mean, the damnedest things have happened in that game for Arkansas. To finally get that monkey off the back, I think it would mean so much for Sam Pittman and the Hawgs. I think that's one Arkansas folks hate Texas A&M. And it's like, if you can't take advantage of a first-year head coach in Mike Elko, I don't know what to tell you. I know A&M's still very good, but that one's important. But guys, I did not go that one. I went the week prior. In my opinion, guys, the most important game of Arkansas's 2024 season, it's the SEC opener, and it's that week 4 showdown at Auburn. Now, let me explain here, because Auburn took Arkansas to the woodshed on the home field last year. I mean, just took them to the woodshed, dragged them. And one of the more, I think, surprising results of the 2023 season. I mean, listen, people thought that Auburn could win that game, but the fashion in which they did it, that's what really started the, hey, Arkansas is checked out. It's time to move on from Sam Pittman. That's what really got the momentum going. But this game at Auburn, guys, I was thinking about it. And to me, the Auburn game is more important than the Texas A&M game because of this. If you can't beat Auburn, guys, in my opinion, you're not beating Texas A&M anyways. Because I think Texas A&M is a far more talented team than the Auburn Tigers. That's not to say that Auburn's bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. But guys, I think Auburn is much more of a 50-50 toss-up game, much more of a swing game at this point than Texas A&M. Like, until we see otherwise, Texas A&M's got Arkansas's number. And so I think you could lose that game to A&M and still have a successful season. You could still get to 6-6. You could still get to 7-5, even losing that game to Texas A&M. But that game at Auburn, guys, that game at Auburn, an Auburn team that, yes, they upgraded their skill position players. They absolutely did. They're going to be better at wide receiver, but they've still got Peyton Thorne at quarterback, and they've still got holes in their roster. This is an Auburn program. They're still more than a quarterback away. They're still a ways away from being where they want to be. And I know Jordan-Hare Stadium is one of the most difficult places to play in all of college football. Like, expect the unexpected. Madness happens. But Sam Pittman needs to rack up wins early, guys. And at Oklahoma State, that's going to be tough. They've got Ollie Gordon back. That's a football team that's got high expectations, high hopes. And you've got, the season opener, you're going to get a dub. You've got UAB, that should be a dub as well. So you're probably going to be, you should be, at minimum 2-1 going into this game against Auburn, right? At minimum 2-1. If you can win that game against Auburn, get to 3-1, start to build some momentum, start to build some confidence. Because again, guys, like, Texas A&M's not the most important game, because if you lose to Auburn, you ain't beating A&M anyways. And you're not beating Tennessee. And then all of a sudden, guys, the wheels start to come off this thing. Like, I think Sam Pittman needs positive more momentum more than anything early in this 2024 season. So when you look at this schedule, that game at Auburn, yes, it's on the road. Yes, it's going to be a hostile environment. But Auburn is a very imperfect football team. This is a 50-50 toss-up game, in my opinion. And I think for Arkansas, this game at Auburn does serve as the most important game of the season. Because, again, you look at Sam Pittman. If he's going to retain his job, if he's going to be the guy in Fayetteville, you've got to generate some early momentum. You've got to be able to get the fan base feeling good, get the fan base on your side, and having people feeling hopeful and optimistic that maybe, just maybe, going into these games against A&M, against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas at home, at Mississippi State even, right? Feeling hopeful and optimistic that success can still be had in this season. So again, for all those reasons, gaining early momentum, that game week 4, the SEC opener at Auburn, in my opinion, is the most important game of Arkansas's 2024 season. Guys, that's going to do it all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we'll catch you on the other side.